Welcome to Australia's Crown Melbourne, where the world's top poker players have gathered to play in the Southern Hemisphere's premier poker tournament. FullTiltPoker.net presents the Aussie Millions. A record field of 780 started play, but day one proved to be brutal for many familiar faces. The defending champ is out, so is the local legend. Now just over 300 remain, but plenty of star power is still left down under. Yeah! Including the man many regard as the best in the world.
I haven't won a tournament in a little while, so I've decided that I want to win a tournament this year. A couple tournaments, actually.
But sitting at his table tonight, the dangerous and always unpredictable Andy Black.
Do I overthink things? I mean, I overdo loads of things, you know? I mean, I'm just a bloody mess a lot of the time. Should I give the fans what they want?
Tonight, see who'll survive and who'll be sent packing. And who'll be one step closer to winning this prestigious title and over $1.5 million in cash. FullTiltPoker.net presents the Aussie Millions. And we welcome you to Australia's beautiful Crown Melbourne, the home of the 2008 Aussie Millions. Day two about to get underway. I'm Barry Tompkins, alongside noted poker author Michael Koenig.
Thank you, Barry. Several major names are still in the field. There's our friend, the Professor, Howard Lederer, out of the announcing booth and back into the casino.
John Jawanda, three-time bracelet winner. He's got his work cut out. He's very low on chips.
And there's Eric Seidel, 8-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner.
And Mike the Mouth Matiso, amusing, unpredictable, and right now, slightly below the average chip count.
And that man right there stacking the chips, that's our chip leader, Con Angelakis, with more than 200,000.
Checking in upstairs at our feature table, we've got a mix of young guns and a couple of known faces. And right there is one of them. In seat one, the Irishman Andy Black took third in this event last year.
But Barry, in seat 7 is the man that everyone at the table is both dreading and gunning for, Phil Ivey. In some people's estimation, the best poker player in the world.
Gives us a chance to look at the current chip stacks, the feature table. Melbourne native Peter Ling is our big stack right now, but Andrew Black not far behind. There's Phil Ivey, nearly 73,000. That's just over 20,000 more than the average chip count. Well, the cards are in the air. First action now on seat number 4. A professional from Germany by the name of Thomas Biel. He's the holder of a World Series bracelet, and he'll fold. Duncan Godfrey likewise.
There's Phil Ivey, late position. No one has shown any interest in this pot, so he makes a stab, raises it to 3,000.
And Peter Ling looking at an ace-queen.
And with position and a better hand, he merely calls.
Andy Black going to get out of the way. Now Michael Wolf, 31-year-old from Friedberg, Germany.
He got into the Aussie Millions on a free roll and in the small blind with a suited 4-6. He'll make the call.
This is Gary Chappell from Brisbane, Australia with a queen 7, and he'll let it go. So 3 players to our first flop of the night. 7 and a pair of 5s.
Interesting flop. It missed everybody, but Wolf picked up an open-ended straight draw. Ling has the 2 big overcards. You see, those two are the odds-on favorites, but Phil Ivey, with a 6% chance to win, bets out.
7,000.
There goes Ling.
The action now over to Michael Wolf.
And it's an interesting decision for the German. He could just call the 7,000, but a lot of players would raise here. Remember, he was in the blind. He might want to represent that he has a 5, and he also needs to define the hand. He's pondering. And I think with players of Phil Ivey's caliber, you've got to be bold. No, he folds. He's going to take the cautious route.
First hand of the day here at the Aussie Millions.
Just another day at the office. Bet with ace high, take down the pot.
Checking in with our outer tables. Downstairs, table 24, Alan Cunningham's got pocket 10s, and he has called Michael Sellers all in bet. Sellers with an ace-king. Cunningham has him covered. The flop, a queen 9-7. To the turn, it is a 6 of hearts.
With 1 card to come, Sellers will need an ace or a king, or he's gone.
And he's gone. 5 of hearts not going to do it, and Alan Cunningham going to get a little bit healthier.
The rest of the field is not happy with that result. Alan Cunningham is not someone you want to see with a lot of chips.
Meanwhile, let's move over to table number 6. Mike Matusow has run into some real trouble. Comes in the persons of Kenny Tran and Steven Cesaro. Matusow's all in with an ace-queen, and both Tran and Cesaro have ace-king. Cesaro is also all in.
And with that flop, Matusow is rooting for a split at best.
Here are the boards. 3 of spades on the turn.
Queen of spades.
Matusow will need a 2 or 7 to chop, or one of those queens Tran is calling for, or he's gone. Yeah! He got it!
Unbelievable.
The exact card. We got to bring Kenny Tran to the racetrack with us.
Shooting off. How can you call a card like that?
And there's a look that speaks 1,000 words. Matusow knocks out Cesaro, takes down a pot worth $75,600. Wow.
From out the door to pretty healthy chip position, and that should keep the "I'm the most unlucky guy in the world" chatter down for about 10 minutes or so.
About that. Meanwhile, back at our feature table, action right now is on Andy Black. Ace 10.
Raisy daisy.
And he's going to raise it up to 3,500. Fold is around to Thomas Beal. And he'll also get out of the way. Now Duncan Godfrey. He has a king 9 suited, and he too will fold. And so will Phil Ivey. Now Peter Ling, and he's looking at a pair of queens.
This certainly calls for a raise. He's in the big blind. Andy Black is able to raise with just about any 2 cards.
Raise.
And he's going to raise it up to 12,500.
How's that for a poker face?
Andy Black with a decision.
Are you running well at the moment?
One-way traffic.
I don't know. 12. I'm running out of time. It's a lot of rubbish. Have you got ace-king? Go on, just be honest.
Honesty at the poker table?
I'll be honest. Don't need a hit.
What?
I don't need a hit.
You don't need to hit. That might be worth playing then.
That is an honest answer.
Go on, I'll let you have it.
Black folds.
Queens.
Yeah, maybe.
Nice read by Black.
Hell, I think you're just walking all over me, taking advantage of my nice sensibilities. Oh well.
Well, Black made the right read. Ling wins the pot, and Black is left to ponder, what if?
We play because poker's not a scratch-off ticket, a half-court jumper, or a knock on wood. It's no game of luck, poker. It's a game of patience and well-timed aggression. We know when we play, a little luck helps. But luck can't explain why final tables have so many familiar faces. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.net Aussie Millions Poker Championship. So while 780 players began, only 232 remain at this point. The average chip stack just over 67,000, and our chip leader, Con Angelakis, has roughly 4 times that amount. I'm Barry Tompkins, along with Michael Koenig. And Michael, there still remains a very eclectic group of players with very diverse skill sets. So what are we looking for?
I will be watching for drastic differences in comfort level. A lot of our players are champions when they sit in front of a computer, but for some of them, this may in fact be the first time they've looked across the table at a live human being. And when they look, they will see some of the greatest players in the world. Let's see who can take that next step towards a major championship and who makes a misstep.
Well, one thing we know for sure, that this man is not uncomfortable. Anybody staring across a poker table at him knows they've got their work cut out.
And take your time, boys. I'm not complaining about time taking. I do like a fast game, though, you know.
First action on Michael Wolf, 31 years old. Ace Queen.
And he is taking his time.
Sometimes I think I'm going crazy if the game gets really slow, you know. And I might like this, I don't know, lose it at someone, you know. But mostly I'm fine.
Translation?
Hurry up. And Wolf very calmly raises to 4,000. Gary Chappell folds. Now Thomas Beale with a king jack. He'll fold.
Do you think it's a serious medical condition if you're talking to yourself a lot?
Action now folding around to Phil Ivey, who also folds.
It's not serious, okay, as long as it's not serious.
So does Peter Ling. And an ace-jack now for black.
Okay, let's
And
play.
he will make the call.
With alacrity.
2 players to the flop. Ace-6 deuce.
Check.
And that could be trouble, Barry. Both players have hit their hand. Wolf has black dominated.
He's going to bet 7,000.
A quick call from Andrew Black.
On the turn, a 5 of hearts. Check from Black.
And Barry, I'm not certain if Andy Black really knows where he's at in this hand. He may believe he's setting a trap, or he might suspect his opponent does have a better kicker. He could get in a lot of trouble here.
Wolf, you saw reaching for chips. Now he's going to bet 9,000. Quick call once again from Black. And a 9 of hearts.
That completes a possible flush draw. Could kill the... Yeah, they both check here. And Wolf is going to show down the winner.
One spot. Wow.
And for a guy who was never behind in the hand, Michael Wolf looks awfully uncomfortable.
Yeah, that sigh of relief is an absolute editorial. Chip count now for Andrew Black, as you see, just under 156,000. Let's move quickly downstairs. Table number 6, a nice pot building between Eric Seidel and Mark Cassis. Cassis has pocket jacks. We don't know what Seidel has.
I'm going to guess it's not a 3-8, but that queen gives Cassis pause. And now Seidel has moved all in. Cassis will have to match about 40,000 more in chips. Nope, he folds.
So Seidel is going to win about 30,800 chips. Eric Seidel, you see, up over 71,000 now.
Not a single player in this room wants to see Seidel with a bunch of chips.
So back at our main table, first action on Michael Wolf. And he looks down at a king. And it looks like his other card also a king. So let's see how he plays this monster. And he's going to bet 4,000. Chappell with a little pair will fold. Beale, an 8-3. He'll get out of the way. So will Tatum. Now Duncan Godfrey, 10-4.
Broderick Crawford.
10-4. He folds. Phil Ivey with an ace-6 suited, and he will call. Peter Ling's got a queen-jack, and he too will make the call. Andy Black folds, so 3 players to the flop. And here is the flop. Queen 9-6, 2 hearts.
Ling has improved, but Michael Wolf still has the best hand.
Ling's going to bet it out, 12,000.
Michael Wolf studying that flop. He sees there are 2 hearts there, and against 2 opponents, he's concerned somebody could be drawing to that flush. I expect him to raise.
He calls.
A little surprising. Michael Wolf is either setting a trap or he's perhaps a little bashful at the moment.
Phil Ivey folded. So 2 to the turn. It's a 9 of clubs. And Ling reaching for chips.
I think that's a really good card for Michael Wolf. It's unlikely that Ling has a 9 in his hand, having called or raised before the flop.
But he bets 35,000.
And now, Barry, would be the time to utter those magic words, all in.
What will Wolf do?
Wow.
I'm getting the sense that he does not know where he's at. I think Michael Wolf is seriously considering folding here. This is not an act. And Ling is betraying nothing.
Big decision.
I'm gonna give you some respect.
Oh, wow.
That is a blunder down under.
I had no idea what I fold.
Cool pair of kings.
Well, Black has an idea.
Tell me you got the 9.
I think you'll see it on the video.
So, Peter Ling, the benefactor of Michael Wolff's surprising fold. More from Australia when we come back. Net presents the Aussie Millions Poker Championship. We come to you from the banks of Melbourne's Yarra River and the beautiful Crown Melbourne Casino. It's day 2 of the main event. We've seen a record field narrowed to under 300 survivors now. Over at table 6, Kenny Tran is all in with a gut shot straight draw against Steve Quanbro's set of 8s after the flop. Not looking too good for Kenny. 6 of spades on the turn.
Kenny Tran must hit a 7 and a 7 only, or he will be eliminated.
And it is a 6 of diamonds. And Kenny Tran is gone.
It was Matisso's Miracle Queen that did most of the damage. Quanbro just finished him off.
We're going to take you over to table 23 right now. Check in with the Professor Howard Lederer. He's moved all in with 2 players behind him still in the hand. He's got mystery cards. We don't know what they are. Raymond Rami is going to fold. And so does Alexei Popov. Well, a nice little pot for the Professor. After some time away from the poker table, seems that Howard might be finding his groove again, especially in light of a big win earlier here this week.
A few days ago, I won the 100,000 buy-in tournament here. 25 players, very tough field. The Gus Hansons, Chris Ferguson's, Eric Lindgren, defending champion, John Jawanda, champion from 2 years ago in this event. I've beaten more players, obviously, to win a tournament, but certainly this was the biggest payday. It's 1.25 million Australian, so it was a nice win. Well, I feel like there was a time when I was considered one of the top players in the world. I still think I am, or I will be shortly.
He doesn't play as much as he used to, and maybe for that reason his game might not be as precise as it used to be.
I'm sure that there are some young players who, feel like, the game's passed me by or an ancient history. But I think it's just kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Is Howard back? No, Howard's not back.
I don't think he ever left. He's been busy, taking care of business.
Made some videos, done some announcing, been involved in, poker-related business opportunities. Poker has taken a back seat, but that's not how it's going to stay.
I know when he comes back, his game's going to be very precise. I think he's going to be one of the top players when he comes back.
Well, I think I've just decided to play more because the time is right. Some of my commitments away from the game are lessening, and first and foremost, a poker player. That's what I am. I'm a professional poker player.
Howard is doing his part to dispel the rumors that those who can't play announce. The truth is he does both jobs very well.
Well, Howard has a lot of work still left to do in the main event if he's going to complete that rare Aussie double. Right now, let's get you back to our feature table where the blinds have gone up to 600 and 1,200 with a 200 ante. Michael Wolff will fold. Chappell likewise. Thomas Beal with an 8-3. He too will fold, as will Gareth Tatum and Duncan Godfrey. Now Phil Ivey.
On the button.
With an 8-deuce.
Give Phil Ivey 2 random cards on the button in an unraised pot and watch the fireworks.
Well, he raises to 3,500. Ling folds now Andy Black with an ace-jack suited.
Call.
And he calls. So 2 to the flop.
Let's put it this way. Phil Ivey doesn't want to make a flush.
And here is the flop. Ace-Queen-10 rainbow.
Wow, great flop for Andy Black. Not only does he spike top pair, he also has a gut shot straight draw. Phil Ivey has nothing.
And when has that stood in his way? Black checks to Ivey, who bets out 5,000. And a very quick call from Andy Black.
I don't think Ivey wanted to see any type of call, especially one made with such nonchalance.
So here is the turn. It is a king of spades, and black has hit an ace-high straight and checks.
Waltzing down Broadway, sends it over to Phil Ivey. Black is hoping Ivey will fall into the trap.
And he does.
12,000.
That's 12,000. And quickly, black raises to 35.
You win.
Ivey folds, black played a great hand.
A nice bit of poker jiu-jitsu from Andrew Black, turning Phil Ivey's aggressive tendencies against him for fun and profit.
Well, he finished third here last year. He's looking for a little bit more in 2008. We welcome you back to Australia's Crown Melbourne, where day 2 of the Aussie Millions has seen its share of casualties as a record field continues to dwindle. We are now down to 215 players at this point. Average chip stack right around 72,000. Our chip leader, still Con Angelakis, 379,200 chips. Going to head over to table 24. Alan Cunningham has moved all in with ace-10 against Warren Pritchard's pocket nines.
We call it a coin flip, but Pritchard actually has a demonstrable edge here going to the flop.
Queen 6-3 on the flop, 2 clubs.
And now Pritchard has jumped out to a 3-1 lead. He is the favorite to knock Alan Cunningham out of the tournament.
Here is the turn. A queen of spades.
Cunningham will need an ace or a 10, or he's done with the Aussie Millions.
Coming down to this. On the river, a 10. And Cunningham will win the hand, and with it, win 73,800.
I wasn't worried.
Alan Cunningham, Mad Magazine cover boy.
Meanwhile, over at table 27, the current chip leader, Con Angelakis, he's involved in a hand against Tom Pongras. Angelakis has Pongras all in and dominated queens versus tens. And the river, no help to Pongras, and he is gone.
We're seeing why Angelakis has built such a big chip lead. Taking 95-5 advantages to the river is a real good way to amass chips.
And the rich just keep on getting richer. Angelakis now 36,000 more, right up near 400,000 for our chip leader. Meanwhile, back at our featured table, action beginning here with Peter Ling.
When not playing poker, Ling is a wedding caterer.
And he's going to get rid of what he interprets as a little garbage here. So does Andy Black. He folds. Michael Wolff as well, and the fold all the way around now to Tatum.
Right.
With an ace-9, and he will raise to 3,600. Fold from Godfrey. Now Phil Ivey. And he'll call.
He's getting a discount from the big blind. And perhaps Phil Ivey thinks he can outplay the Englishman.
So 2 players to the flop, and here is the flop, 7-6-4, a couple of diamonds.
Check.
Check from Ivey.
Check.
And a check from Tatum.
Tatum is inviting Phil Ivey to take this pot away from him.
4 spades on the turn.
I do expect Ivey to bet now. Tatum has shown weakness. Ivey, of course, has nothing, but he'll make a stab.
6,000.
Call.
Quick call from Tatum.
Call.
Tatum doesn't believe Ivey has any of that board, and he's right.
The river is another 4.
Completes a flush draw. The only way Ivey can win this pot is to bluff at it. Nope, he's going to abdicate.
So now Tatum reaching for chips. And he's going to bet 12,600.
This is really a fascinating situation, Barry. Tatum thinks he's bluffing at this pot. He doesn't know he has the best hand because obviously he wouldn't make a value bet with that hand. What would he get called by, an ace-8? So he's thinking the only way I can win this is to bluff at it. And it works.
Well, a nice little pot for Gareth Tatum. He's going to take down 21,400. For Phil Ivey, not one of his best days, but you know, life in the poker spotlight, nothing new for this man. He says fame does have its consequences.
When I first started playing, and nobody knew who I was, and I just was able to just kind of do my own thing and just play poker. You know, before all the cameras came around, I had a lot of fun playing. You know, I still have fun now, but it's just different.
Is it difficult being Phil Ivey?
Well, it has its ups and downs, but I wouldn't trade my life for anybody else's.
As you can see, Phil Ivey has acquired about 9 million reasons to deal with the demands of fame.
Makes going to the bank a lot easier, too, doesn't it? Phil Ivey, one of the greats. First action here now on Gareth Tatum. He's going to fold that 5-deuce. So, too, will Duncan Godfrey. Phil Ivey won't. He's going to raise it to 3,600. Peter Ling folds. So does Andy Black. Action now on Michael Wolff, looking at an ace-7 suited.
And he will deliberate.
And fold. Gary Chappell likewise. This is Thomas Beal with a Jack-10 suited.
What? All right. Yeah.
Beal, the German professional.
No emotion.
He's going to call. So 2 players to the flop now, Ivey and Beal. And the 9-8-4, a couple of clubs on the flop.
Beal checks the open-ended straight draw. Phil Ivey auto bets.
Yes. He's going to bet 5,000. And Beal pushes all in.
Classic semi-bluff. Right now, Beal has but a jack high. He's got a great draw, and it works.
Ivey throws it away, and Beal will pick up a nice little pot. So Phil Ivey just can't seem to get the engine started today. We'll see if he can rev it up when we come back to the Aussie Millions Poker Championship. Welcome back to the beautiful Crown Melbourne and the Aussie Millions Poker Championship. One of the featured properties of the Crown Entertainment Complex is the stylish and thoroughly modern Crown Promenade Hotel. Enjoy spacious rooms with fantastic views, eat and drink in style at the Tonic Bar and Mesh Restaurant, and relax at the state-of-the-art leisure facility, The Deck, featuring indoor pool, 2 outdoor deck areas, steam rooms, and a gymnasium. Enjoy your stay at Melbourne's award-winning Crown Promenade Hotel.
Beautiful property, which we look forward to going to every year.
In a beautiful city. And a great event, the Aussie Millions. Action beginning here on Gareth Tatum with the Jack-4 suited, and he'll throw that away. Duncan Godfrey likewise will fold. So too will Phil Ivey. And Peter Ling. Now Andy Black with a 3-4. And he is going to raise it to 3,400. Michael Wolff folds. Gary Chappell as well. Thomas Beal now with the 9-8 suited.
He'll get a 1,200 chip discount from the big blind.
Another King 8 special.
Beal flashing that World Series of Poker bracelet, something for all his accomplishments Andy Black does not have.
Beal makes the call.
That means you've got at least King 8.
First time all day, Andy Black has not been right on his prognostications.
6-7 deuce on the flop.
Man, this is an action flop. Black has a flush draw and an inside straight draw. Beal has an up and down open-ended straight draw.
And a check from Beal.
All in.
There's some action.
Wow. Black going all in. He's got Beal covered.
You see the on-screen odds, 50-50, but Beal doesn't know that. He looks at his hand and says, man, I've only got a 9 high.
I'm glad I don't have a decision.
Oh, man.
Bet you wish you'd bet it.
No. I wish you would have bet smaller.
All right, okay.
So that I can check raise all in.
And he folds it.
You can look at either of these 2 cards.
Black giving a little free information.
Yeah.
Well, Black will win 9,000 on that hand.
I'm pretty sure you're flushing. You did the same thing against my German mate on day 1.
Right, but they're not flush draw, yeah. It's 10 of clubs and he had a pair of kings. Yeah, he was a bit unlucky. I was on a roll at that particular point in the tournament.
Well, speaking of being on a roll, we're going to roll downstairs in the poker room here. John Jawanda is all in with pocket aces against Eric Rensink, suited Big Slick.
Rensink is facing the one hand he didn't want to see.
And Here's the flop. 10-6 deuce on the flop, a rainbow.
Now Renzik needs running kings or running cards for a straight.
The turn is a 6 of hearts, so Renzik now drawing dead.
Thereby guaranteeing John Juanda the win and just enough ammunition to get back in this tournament.
32,400 he wins there. Meanwhile, the professor's taken a bit of a hit to his stack since last we checked in on him. He's now involved in a hand against Amnon Filippi. Filippi raising 5,500 after the river. Howard now very low on chips, and he'll fold. Filippi raking in a small pot, and Howard is going to have to turn things around quickly and drastically if he expects to win a second title here at the Crown this week. You can see his chip count now just 22,500. Over at table 6, Mike Matiso has just won a pot by catching yet another card on the river.
And I'm moving on up to the top. How many times are you going to suck out in this tournament, man? I really brought my A game today. I mean, I don't understand why I'm playing like a complete toilet today.
Well, since the toilet's flushing the opposite direction here, maybe that means Mike has a chance this week. We're coming right back.
I love this country. The cards aren't rigged in Australia.
Welcome back to the FullTiltPoker.net Aussie Millions Poker Championship. Barry Tompkins, Michael Koenig alongside. We're looking at the crowded poker room here at the Crown Melbourne. But it's not quite as crowded as it was when this tournament began. The once-record field has now been whittled down to less than 200. And Con Angelakis remains our chip leader with more than 430,000 chips. Let's take a look at the current chip counts at the feature table. Peter Ling remaining the big stack there with just over 226,000 chips. And the surprise, Phil Ivey, down near the bottom of the board.
Peter Ling didn't tell his mother he would be playing in the Aussie Millions. If he continues to dominate, he'll have some delightful explaining to do.
I'm glad I didn't knock you out now, so I'm enjoying you being here.
First action here on Gary Chappell, and he will fold. Thomas Beal with a 7-6, and he'll throw that away as well. Tatum also folds. So does Godfrey. Now Phil Ivey.
Hello.
Pocket aces for Ivey. He's going to raise to 3,500. Peter Ling folds. Andy Black folds. And Michael Wolf going to think about the 7-5.
He's in the small blind. He'll have a small discount. Nope. He folds, and Ivey picks up the blinds and antes. Given his short stack, I'm sure he hoped to get more value out of the aces than that.
So everyone enjoying their time here in Australia?
Well, maybe not everyone at the moment, but as we head back down to the packed poker room floor, more and more players obviously seem to be enjoying their time here in Australia. The field of 780 and the grand prize of $1.65 million are records for this event, which has clearly emerged as a force on the world poker scene.
The Aussie Millions is one of the biggest poker tournaments in the world.
Well, I mean, it's a great event. It's a great venue, great hosts. Australia, definitely one of the hotbeds of poker.
It's in my hometown, in my hometown casino. Because I've seen the Aussie Millions grow from its inception, it's kind of like, I feel like it's one of my children. It's amazing.
It was a strategic plan with 5 years to take it from about 120 to over 700, and I think we've achieved that pretty much on target.
Yeah, it's one of the places I look forward to going. I don't do as much traveling as I used to, so I'm definitely looking forward to coming down here.
I mean, the fact that they finally got my ass over here when I have 4 kids, and I was willing to, fly 14 hours to do that, shows you it must be a really big event.
In 1997, when the Aussie Millions was born, there were 74 players at the main event. Flash forward a decade, and the tournament is now 10 times the size. The very best players from all over the world circled this event on their calendar. Now, the question is, just how big is this going to get?
I think we'll probably keep it to within 800 to 1,000 players. One of the reasons why we want to do that is we want to keep quality, and quality really is about the customer. And if you get too big, you can't deliver the customer service, and I think that's really our key point of difference. So I'll always hold a cap at probably about 1,000 players.
They really actually know how to treat poker players, which I think a lot of the casinos in the U.S. are losing that. And so that's why you see so many U.S. players coming here and playing.
There is not a Triple Crown. There's not a Grand Slam. And I think poker is missing that. And certainly if one were to create a Grand Slam of poker, I would think Aussie Millions would be one of those 4.
It makes you kind of feel proud that you're part of something so wonderful.
Barry, we've covered 3 Aussie Millions now, and we've been able to see firsthand how the poker boom has really become a worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, it's a great event, and it just keeps getting better every year. And you heard some of the players talking about the caliber of play, and that, too, has improved every year. Back to the action here. And Gary Chappell will fold. Now Thomas Beal with an 8-4. He, too, folds.
We could play a heads-up pot here. That'd be cool, because we haven't done that yet.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think I might just call on the blind.
Godfrey folds, and so does Ivy.
I haven't seen him yet. If he folds, I'm going to call on the blind.
Well, Ling folds.
All right, don't look. Yeah, okay.
Andrew Black keeps his promise, calls in the dark.
So you raising? Okay, look. Check.
Here's quality poker. 2 guys who have no idea what they have.
I've checked.
Yeah, you check.
You just do what you want.
To the flop. Pair of 9s and a 7 and a couple of spades. They both check, both playing blind. Queen of hearts on the turn.
We got to look at 1.
Oh! Andy Black looks down at 1 card.
I just looked at 1.
It happened to be the magic one. Wow.
I like that one.
Wolf has an ace.
Got to look at the other one now.
Wolf has got to think he's ahead right now. Oh!
The river's an ace.
Man, this is brutal.
And Black bets 5,000.
Oh, you only looked at 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very unbelievable.
How much? 5? I call.
3 9s with a king. Unbelievable. Oh. I hadn't looked at them, genuine. Never looked at them. No.
I hit the ace.
Anyway, I looked at 1 and it was the 9. I checked blind. That's mad. That's pretty sick. Oh, you hit the ace. Oh, my God. That was insane.
So as Black and Wolf wrap up their version of Two Blind Mice, we'll check in downstairs where John Jawanda's all in with pocket 5s against the pocket 10s of Kofi Farquier. And after the flop, not looking too good for Jawanda.
He'll need a 5 to stick around.
I'm usually lucky when the camera is around.
Not lucky this time. Deuce on the turn.
2 cards in the deck to save John Jawanda.
To the river. A 7, and John Jawanda will be eliminated. Over at table 23, Howard Lederer's all in with Big Slick against the ace-9 of Ray Rami.
Great spot for Lederer to get the last of his chips in. He's got Rami dominated. He's about a 3-1 favorite going to the flop.
And here is the flop. Queen-9 deuce, and Rami has caught a pair of 9s.
Tough break for the professor. He can redraw, though. A king will give him the lead, or running cards for a straight.
To the turn. Turn is a 3.
Now, one of the 3 kings left in the deck, or Howard Lederer is finished.
And here is the river. It is a 7, and Rami will eliminate Howard Lederer. Rami wins $70,100, but that's a wrap for Howard Lederer, whose dream of an Aussie double is over. We're coming back to the Crown after this.
Hello, beautiful. Oh, yeah.
No one to play with. So play online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
You folding?
The FullTiltPoker.net Aussie Millions Poker Championship. Just before the break, we watched as Howard Lederer was eliminated from the tournament. I'm sure a bit of a letdown after his great win in the $100,000 buy-in tournament earlier this week.
I had a great trip, but you know, that last tournament was already done, so it's a little disappointing to get knocked out of this one, but it happens.
Howard taking the loss philosophically, and that's a mark of a pro. You understand that no matter how well you play, occasionally the cards don't cooperate.
Well, speaking of great players, here's Phil Ivey, and cards cooperating for him this time. He's got pocket aces again.
Last time he raised it. This time he just smooth calls.
Peter Ling folded. Andy Black with an 8-9.
I know that, but he might do, you know, with ace to king if he missed.
And he makes the call. Action now folding around to the German, Thomas Biel. And he has a jack-deuce and will call. And Gareth Tatum will check his option.
Phil Ivey smooth called in early position, hoping somebody would raise. Now he's fading 3 opponents.
On the flop, Queen 8-4. Good flop for Tatum.
Yeah, he's flopped bottom 2 pair in a multi-way pot. No obvious straight or flush draws, but it looks like he wants to bet out now for value.
6,600 the bet from Tatum.
Now Phil Ivey has to be careful to not fall in love with his aces here. Remember, it was an unraised pot before the flop. So his opponents could have just about anything in the blind. And 4-8 is one of those just about anything hands. But it looks like Ivey's cutting out a raise. This situation brings to mind what the great Doyle Brunson wrote about pocket aces in No Limit Hold'em. You tend to win either a small pot or lose a big one.
Raise.
And the raise called by Phil Ivey, 21,600. Andy Black will fold. And so will Thomas Biel. Now Tatum.
I'm all in.
So Tatum is going all in for 30,300.
Call.
And a call from Phil Ivey, who now sees the bad news.
That's what I get.
Ivey is all in. It is his tournament at risk. He'll need an ace or for the queen to pair.
And on the turn, it's a 10, no help to Ivey.
To survive, Ivey will need a queen, a 10, or an ace, or he is out.
And here is the river. 7 of diamonds, and Phil Ivey has been eliminated from the tournament by Gareth Tatum.
We saw Phil Ivey dealt pocket aces twice. The first time he played them fast, didn't get any action. This time he played them slow, and he is out the door.
So at the end of this session, we are down to 176 players. Our chip leader still Con Angelakis with 448,000, a big stack compared to the average of just over 88,000. The action at the 2008 Aussie Millions main event just getting started. Yes. It was a day where one of poker's best players became a target for the young guns.
Win the space.
Yeah! And the game's hands.
Oops.
While other stars were sent packing.
Good luck. Good luck, guys.
At this point, it's anyone's game.
That was insane.
That'll do it for now. For my partner, Michael Koenig, I'm Barry Tompkins. See you next week from the beautiful Crown Melbourne. Good day.